All right. Good morning. Just checking the levels. Levels look good. Got my coffee ready for day 5 of Advent of Code. All right, let's get into it. Yesterday, I added a just file to create some template code. And in reality, most of this is, it's all Ruby, and I'm just using this as a way to sort of discover the tasks that we could run. This works. It's probably not the most elegant solution. And then there was one other thing we needed. This file.write input.text. I'm not quite sure what's happening with the syntax highlighting here. Yeah, one thing I've done in the past is to add a scripts folder. Scripts, and then add a, scaffold.rb or something like that. And then I'll take all of this and put it in here. And then I've got some, and so then this day becomes $1, which is the first argument. And then this becomes, let's see, we can replace day with day. Oh, that didn't work because of the special characters. Yeah, I just need to do that. And then that's just day anyway. Yep. Then this one. What am I missing here? That one. Yeah, indentation was all wonky. I think I actually want argv1. Anything else? Using uppercase here, doc. I'm just fixing these lint warnings while I'm here, because it's kind of annoying. All right. All right, so then the just file is going to invoke that script. We're going to do scripts scaffold.rb, and then we're going to pass in the day here. Now the only other thing I need to do is chmod plus x scripts scaffold so that you can execute it. And then let's run just prepare 5. And can't convert nil into integer. Preparing, yeah, okay, so this is puts argv. We are getting 5 here. Oh, argv is just 5 by itself. No, it is an array of strings. There's only one though, that's why. Okay, preparing day 5. Okay, and then back on here, if you prefix something with an @ sign, it won't print out the command that it's running. Morning, Samuel. How are things on your side of the world? Okay, so now that we have that, let's jump back into Xcode. And we're going to grab day 5. Not sure why, but my stream upload is just not keeping up. I'm not sure. Not sure why. Download's fine. Let's look at upload. Cold and wet, but I've almost finished the last flaky test on this project. Nice. Yeah, it's temperature here has been inconsistent. So today's going to be warm, tomorrow's going to be cold. Yeah, so my upload is fine, but I'm only uploading at like 4.5 megabits, and that's half of what I should be streaming at. Is it buffering for you? All right. I'm going to just get started on day 5. Satisfied with their search on Ceres, the squadron of scholars suggests subsequently scanning the stationary stacks of sub-basement 17. North Pole printing department is busier than ever this close to Christmas, and while the historians continue their search of this historically significant facility, an elf operating a very familiar printer beckons you over. Throwback to 2017, day 1. The elf must recognize you because they waste no time explaining the new Slay launch safety manual updates won't print correctly. Failure to update the safety manuals would be dire indeed, so you offer your services. Safety protocols clearly indicate that the new pages for the safety manuals must be printed in a very specific order. The notation X pipe Y means that if both page number X and Y are to be produced as part of an update, page number X must be printed at some point before page number Y. The elf has before you the page ordering rules and the page to produce each update. For example, okay, so these are all the page ordering rules, and then these are all the pages. Was at first, but seems to have stabilized. That's good. Yeah, I'm really not sure what's happening. I'm using an ATEM to stream so that it's not like tying up the computer for anything. It's just direct hardware, but I'm not sure. Okay, so in this one, oops, I scrolled too far. First section is page ordering rules. The first rule, 4753, means that if an update includes both page number 47 and page number 53, then page number 47 must be printed. Okay, so only if it includes both. The second section specifies the page numbers of each update. Because most safety manuals are different, the pages needed in the updates are different too. The first update, 75, 47, 61, means that the update consists of page numbers 75, 47, 61, 53, and 29. To get the printers going as soon as possible, start by identifying which updates are already in the right order. In the above example, the first update is in the right order. 75 is correctly first because there are rules that put each other page after it. Okay, so I think that once I get the update, then I'm going to consult the list and reject any that don't include the both pages. So I would get all the rules for 75, and I'd reject any that didn't have one of these other pages. And then I would grab 47, reject any that didn't contain the other pages, and then that would give me my ordering rules for this update. Okay, and this is going to be a good parsing library test. I just realized that this is importing spaces into here, and it's because of this, which is one of the things oh, what happened? Xcode just crashed. That's what I get for opening Ruby in Xcode, or editing Ruby in Xcode. In Swift, you can do this, and it'll just strip all leading white space, starting with the first line. But in other languages, that's not necessarily the case. So you have to do some garbage like this, which looks awful. And then now I have a linting rule, violation, but I don't care. All right, so this is day 5, which is a struct. No, an enum. Static func part 1, input, string, throws, returns a string. Okay. So we can we can first maybe test our parsing rules to see that we can parse the page ordering rules and stuff like that. So let's do that first. We'll do test func parsing rules. We'll just say test parsing throws. We'll also create the same input. And then we'll expect, let's see, we need to run something like day 5 dot parse input, and maybe that gives me 2 items. We'll say let ordering rules and updates equals, and then we would expect that ordering rules.count is equal to however many lines this is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 21 rules. And we would expect that maybe ordering rules dot first is equal to 4753. Not sure how yeah, I'll do something like this, I guess. Make it a struct. It could be just tuples, but then I can't compare equality, which is super annoying. All right, let's start with that. So let's create a parser, or a parse method. And that's going to return a set of ordering rules. And that's going to be a struct ordering rule. Let a int and b int. And then the other one was an update, which can just be an array of ints. I kind of want these ordering rules to be like maybe a different data structure, but I'm reluctant to just start making this more complicated right up front. Okay, so now we need an ordering rule parser. So that's a if we did an ordering rule parser is a parser, and we do that, we can specify that we have, let's see, int parser skip this is going to be int.parser. Yeah. Skip. Well, we don't need to say skip. We just do pipe and then int.parser. And then we'll have a updates parser. These don't strictly have to be their own separate types, but I'm going to see how this works. Body. This is really many. Yeah, and I don't need the terminator here. Many ints with the separator. All right. So now that I have those two parsers, I should be able to say many ordering rules parser. Let's see. We could probably just return this once we're done. That's going to separate by like a new line or something. It's probably just this. And then I'm actually curious what it'll do here. I think I do have to eat the new line for this to work. So this would be separator. And then once I have that many, this gets mapped to... No, I already have... That gives me all the ordering rules. So that's going to take our input. And I want to map this because at the moment now I have ordering rules. And then after this, I want the updates parser. So I'm going to do many updates parser with a separator of new line. And now I should have updates here. I think that's it. All right, so let's run our test here. Oh, that's weird. Oh, I never added my test here. No wonder. That would explain why I wasn't getting my code completion, and it was mostly Copilot. All right, var body cannot convert expression to ordering rule. Oh yeah, this needs to map. We're going to map this to ordering rule AB. Let's take a look at the documentation for that. This is all fine. Here's some examples. No, those are benchmarks. Yeah, there's not a super exhausted. Let's see, getting started article. Oh, okay, that's what I wanted. No, that's all. Let's take a look at a simple one like the int parser. So this is a parser. It's got the input collection, output, fixed width integer. I don't know if I need that. But this one doesn't have the body. This one has the parse, which returns output. There are some that use the builder type. Let me fix some of these others first. Cannot convert value of array of ordering rules to array of ints to expected argument type. Oh wait, this one The updates needs to be an array. Yeah, so this is an array of events. Yeah. So we have an array of events for each row. What IDE do you use and how do you set it up for Advent of Code? This is Xcode. I use Xcode for Swift only. If I'm doing something else like Ruby or Rust or basically anything else, I'll use either NeoVim or lately I've been liking Zed. But yeah, there's no real setup here. This is almost stock Xcode. Comes with lots of tools. It's got a Vim mode, which makes me happy. As far as setting it up for Advent of Code, I'm setting up a package.swift, which describes all the different targets that we build. So I've got a target for each day here. So if I switch to day 5 and hit Command R, it'll run day 5. And then I also have a helper library that I can use to share code between the days if I want to. And then to run the tests, we'll switch over to the test thing and I'll just click on this diamond. Instance member parse cannot be used. That needs to be static. Okay, so these two are incorrect. It needs to be an any parser. Do I need to erase it? Maybe. Okay, cannot find ordering rule and scope. This is going to be day 5 ordering rule. A and B. Let's actually undo that and we'll just implement our own init that is unnamed for brevity. Make it equatable so we can compare them. That can fail. Extraneous. Okay, so now these can be created like that. And now, because I'm just passing this along, I can actually just say map ordering rule .init. Like that. There's also a syntax where you can do parse input ordering rule .self with parser. And I think that would make it so I don't need the map. Maybe not. There is a way to do this so that the type is that you're parsing into is like first in the list, but since this is compiling, I'll just stick with this. How did you learn Swift? I have been a software developer for a long time. I've done a bunch of languages, and then when the iPhone came out, I really wanted to make an app for the iPhone, so I learned Objective-C. And then switched careers to just do iPhone development back in 2010 or 2009. Yeah, 2009. And then when Swift came out, it was like, yeah, this is definitely the future. I like Objective-C, but I don't like how cumbersome and wordy it is to do simple things. Like, for instance, to make a struct is so tiny in Swift, whereas to make new types in Objective-C, there was always some ceremony around it. And then there was this long period of time where you had like Objective-C and Swift had to live together, and so Swift was kind of like encumbered by Objective-C. But nowadays, like everything I'm writing is pure Swift. The only thing that is kind of like older style is the stuff that we get from Foundation, but even Foundation has been rewritten in Swift. So there's almost nothing that I'm using that sort of has that old interop style anymore. But I think, when did Swift come out? 2015? And I started using it like day one, basically. It was pretty rough back then, but... Okay, so we're building, so I should be able to run this test now, just to see if we can parse these values. And we'll see what we get here. Let's make sure that that's visible. Yeah. Okay, so we can parse our results. The updates, let's add an expectation for updates dot count is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll just check that the first one equals 75, 47, 61, 53, 29. And then we'll rerun that test. That failed, so we got an empty array. And I think maybe it's because of this new line. I think I forgot to put a new line in between the two, like that. 2014, fun times back then. Yeah. Yeah, it was a different language back then. I mean, the compile times were horrible, but the syntax was super promising, and it sort of took inspiration from other places, which I liked. Okay, test still failed. What happened here? Updates.first. Oh, also updates.count 7 is not equal to 6. So let's see, do I need 2 new lines here? Okay, yeah, that's what happened. Okay, so we can parse everything. At this point now, if we go back to we need like an is in the right order function, and it kind of makes me think that I need something other than just returning a tuple from this, because I now want to be able to say, well, I guess my ordering rules, maybe that just needs to be a bigger type, because I don't have to map these into arrays, right? Or I guess I could, but let's say let's make an ordering rules type, and we give it all of its ordering rules, and then here we would have a function of like is in correct order, and we pass in the update, which is an array of ints, and it returns a Boolean. And so we would first need to get the list of valid rules, which would be update, let's see. No, it'd be rules.filter. Is that how I want to do it? Yeah, the rules that contain... So the update contains both numbers in the rule. So those are the valid rules for this update. And now I need to take them and put them in order. So in this example, 75, so in this example, the updates that are relevant for this one means 75 comes before 47. So what we're going to end up doing is something like updates dot sorted, not updates, update. And we'll pass in A and B. And I think I want to say sorted equals update. So that'll tell me if the sorted one matches the update. Okay. So then I need to take all valid rules and filter where $0.a is equal to my A, and make sure that so sorted means you return true if they're in the correct order already. So we're basically going to say all satisfy. No, actually, I'm going to find the rule. Yeah. I'm going to find the valid rule dot first. If we got here, then we got a problem because shouldn't have matched this rule. Okay, so I have a single rule and I just want to return that. Oh wait, no, that means we're looking for a rule that says that 75 comes before 47. No, this will actually work. Okay, so we want to just return to see if it contains, not filter, contains. So if our valid rule contains one that says that A comes before B, then we're good. Does that mean that it doesn't have to be completely exhaustive? Meaning, what if I didn't have 7561, but I did have 61 comes before 53? I'm not sure. This may be something that they'll throw as a problem in part 2, but we can check. Let's write a test for correct order. Let update equals this one. And I'm going to take, that's going to day 5 dot ordering rules. Our rules are going to be, I guess I have to do this. I'm going to do many. Oh, let's import parsing here. This will be a little easier for me to do many ordering rule parser. Yeah. And then separator new line, and then map to ordering day5.ordering rule self, not self init. Separator. Cannot convert many. Substring ordering. Oh yeah, I need to call parse. Because I need all of these in order to get the right answer. No comma here. Instance method map requires input. Wait, I don't need to map it at all because this thing already gives me the right answer. So this is going to be rules is that. Okay, and now I want to say expect rules dot is incorrect order update. Need the where keyword there. Return. Okay, so that one worked. And if I move this out of order, let's do reversed. Just to make sure that that part works. Okay. 75 is correct because our rules that put other pages after it. 47 is second because 75 must be before it, and every other page must be after it according to those. 61 is correctly in the middle. 75 and 47 are before it. So I think that the thing that I'm not sure is, do I have every combination of these? And if I don't, what happens? I think what I need to do is where I'm getting a rule to see if the update contains both. Or sorry, these are the valid rules that apply. That's correct. Here I'm returning to see, is there a rule that puts this one before that one? That only works if everything is exhausted. So I think I want to invert this to say that it's in the correct position unless there is a rule that says this comes before it. So I want to say B and A, I think. So by inverting it, that would let me return true if there's not a rule between those two numbers. If there's not a rule between those two numbers, it'll just return true because there's nothing else that says that it has to go through. However, that does mean that I might need to sort multiple times. Because if I had, let's say I had a rule of like 10 comes before 16, and then I have a rule that 16 comes before 45, and a rule that 1 comes before 16. Let's say if these are my rules, then 1 would have to come before 16, but I don't have 1 with 45 or 10. So what we would do is we'd look at the update and see. So if our update was 10, 16, 145, let's say that was our update, then does the rule contain with 10 and 16 backwards? And no, so we continue. We're in the correct order so far. Then we look at 16 and 1, and there is a rule that's backwards on that one. So maybe this was a bad example. Maybe I need to do 45 and 1. And then that would be 16. Yeah, so this is going to be a problem, because if I was at 45 and 1, there's no rule, so we just continue. And then 1 and 16 are in the correct order here. So this, I can't just compare the numbers next to each other. That's not going to work. Because if I'm missing rules for those numbers, it's not going to swap them. How do I want to handle that? This is kind of why I wanted some kind of data structure. I suppose that my rules could be ordered. And then I could produce the sequence. No, but the rules won't be in the right order. It's almost like I need to say, okay, let's say I have ordered is some array, and then we could say for value in update. I think these were called page and update. And then we'll see if there's a rule. Is there a rule? Yeah, so this would end up being for yeah, I would have to check to see where does this go in the list. If it's first, let's do guard update account is greater than or 0. Then I can just do update 0 like that. Okay, so we'll do drop first there. So this is every other element. We're going to get the last. No, I still need to go through each one in ordered. For ordered. Okay, so if the page it's basically, do I need to insert before this number or not? It's hard to know if this is going to produce the right answer. Okay, so we'll say valid rules.contains. And we'll say $0.a comes before page.a, dollar and $0, sorry, but not page.a, just page, $0.b equals x. So if we have a rule that says that we should come before that number, then we will insert. This is a hideously slow algorithm because we've already got n squared, where we're iterating over the update array, and then we're iterating over our array. So this will, at worst, will be the same length as this one. So that's essentially n squared. Then we're also iterating over all the valid rules for every single one. So this is n squared times m. It's pretty awful. I think this one, yeah, and the other thing is we're iterating over every single one. We could probably change the valid rules into a hash. Where the A becomes the key and then the values are an array. I don't know. Let's do it slow first and see if it works. Should we insert before this number? If so, we're going to say ordered dot insert page, and I need enumerated here at index. That's going to be index, I think. This gives me no, backwards. This is a problem though, because where am I going to continue? Right, we're iterating over ordered and then I just inserted. So at this point I think I can break, which breaks out of the for loop, and now we go to the next page in the update. And then we do, again, a linear scan insert where needed. I feel like some kind of tree structure could work here, but I literally never do those outside of Advent of Code. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, let me try that and say that return ordered equals update and see if our test passes. It failed. We're going to have to check it because I don't have a way to output what's happening. Okay, so our update is that I'm going to do custom string convertible here and add a description. No, debug custom debug string convertible and add a debug description here, which is just going to be A and B. And let's run it again. I just want to be able to see stuff in the watch list here. So we've got our update, then we've got our valid rules. Why didn't that print out? Let's do it like this. Yeah, print valid rules. Can I do this? No, that returned a void. Let's do valid rules dot map to debug description dot join new line. Here we go. It doesn't want to print the new line anyway. Okay, that's a little easier to see. Okay, so we have our update and we have our values. So we'll start off with 75 being in the first position. Then we're going to look at all the values in ordered. So page for this one is 47. Should we insert it before? Oh, I never appended, that's why. If we get to the end and we haven't... yeah, here I'm going to say ordered.append page. Okay, so that test succeeded. Let's look at one that isn't in the correct order. Second and third are also in the correct order according to the rules. So let's check those two. Okay, those worked, and then the fourth one should not work. So let's jump back and grab this one. That one should not be in the correct order. Wait, third and fourth. This one is not in the correct order. Is there something other than expect, like reject or refute or anything like that? Probably not. All right. For some reason, the elves also need to know the middle page number of each update being printed. Because you're currently only printing the correctly ordered updates, you will need to find the middle page number of each. Okay. Of course, you'll need to be careful. The actual list of page ordering rules is bigger and more complicated than the rule above. All right. I want to see... I also don't know if these are always going to contain odd numbers, so I'm not sure what the median index is going to be here, but... or the middle index. Okay. This won't be too complicated because the input isn't gigantic. It's just a little bit bigger. Oh, and then our test... sorry, we need to finish the actual rule here. What are we going to do? I'm going to get rid of this because that's not valid. If it's in correct order, then we need to get... yeah, so we're going to take our input. We're going to get our ordering rules and updates, and we're going to parse the input. Then I'm going to create rules as an ordering rules like that. And then I'm going to say, what was the, do I need to add them up? Adding them up, yeah. Okay. So we're going to do valid updates. It's going to be updates.filter rules rules.isInCorrect order. And then we're going to map each array to the median value. So it's going to be $0.count divided by 2. And we're going to, well, that is going to be integer division. So we'll say middle index here. I'll just call it mid. Then I can return $0 mid. Then we can reduce that to plus. And then this just becomes the sum. Okay, and then in part 1, when we run it, so if I say day 5, part 1, input, results, we expect the result to equal 143, I think it was. Yeah. All right, let's run test part 1. That succeeded. Let's run the actual results, which is going to be doing this stuff. Let's just grab that, paste it here. Day 5, part 1. And then we'll run it. Oh, and my input needs to be pasted in here. Okay, there are no values in this one, which seems maybe wrong. I want to see what the updates that we had were. except I can't because I'm... else return 0, I guess. But that seems like there's something else wrong here, so... Either that or I parsed an array of 0 elements, and then that should be fine anyway. Because that ends up returning true, so it does pass through here. I could change that, I suppose. Yeah, p updates dot first dot last. Yeah, that's what happened. I'm just gonna say false here just to get rid of it. All right, 5091. Continue to part 2. While the elves get to work printing the correctly ordered updates, you have a little time to fix the rest of them. For each of the incorrectly ordered updates, use the page ordering rules to put the page numbers in the right order. For example, here are the 3 incorrectly ordered updates and their correct orderings. After taking only the incorrect ordered updates and ordering them correctly, their middle page numbers are this. Adding these together produces 123. Okay. I think I essentially already did it because my update does put them in the right order. So that was advantageous. So for part 2, we're going to the is in correct order. I think I want to have a function called correct order, which gives me the correct order so that I can call it. And then this is basically going to be this return ordered. And then this one is going to say return update equals correct order for update. And this is not a bool, this is an int. Oops. And then I want to get rid of not update.isEmpty, else return false. Okay, and then that can just be return. Okay, so now that I have that, part 2 becomes, we've got our ordering rules and updates. We're going to update just the ones that are not in the correct order. This is even more inefficient because now I got to loop over them twice, but whatever. I want to take the ones that are not in the correct order and make it in the correct order. So that's going to be rules.correctOrder for $0. Is in correct order. Okay. Wow. I mean, let's see what happens with our test for part 2. So this gets copied, and then this one is going to be part 2. Should be 1, 2, 3. Part 2. Last flaky test is because of Redis's Z range by score, I think. Oi. Z range by score is deterministic, though. Z range by score is like, give me the first like n elements or whatever from a sorted list, like a high score table, correct? Okay, I got 73. Find all the incorrect ones. Map them to the correct one. Okay, let's just print them out because this... see, map, print. Let's see, map before correction. What part of that is making it flaky? Okay, before correction we got 75, 97, 47. Yeah. Should be 97, 75, 47. Oh. It didn't work. But in this case, the score is a timestamp, and sometimes it gives back a value which is the same timestamp as the max specified by Z range by score, and other times it doesn't. Score is a timestamp. Sometimes it gives a value which is the same timestamp as the max specified by Z range. Are you controlling time in your test? Okay, that's weird. After correction, 97 was in there twice. What did I do wrong with that one? Sometimes one result, sometimes two in the end. Test expects only one. If you run the test 10 times, you'll get one, but occasionally you'll get two. Yeah. Those are fun. Are you, is this a Swift test, or like, is this Ruby, or what is this? Yeah. Wait. Yeah. 75, 97. This is in the wrong order. Oh, sorry. I need to continue until I get the one I'm looking for. Yeah. 75, 97, 47, 61, and 53. Yes. That should become 97, 75, 47, 61, 53. Okay, so ordered is currently 75, and 97 should be ordered before it. So the valid rules are 97, 97, 97. Yeah, 9775. So it should find one to say it should insert before. Oh, I think I'm running into the problem that I mentioned where I'm mutating this array while I'm iterating over it. Okay, so I insert and then I break. Yep, that's what's happening. Okay. Yikes. I can do this. Let's see. Swift break to label. Yeah. I have never used this before. I knew it was a possibility, but all right. The test is using sample data with slightly randomized dates. TypeScript for Node.js backend stuff. Previous people made this so complicated. Yeah, I've been there. I worked on a project that actually heavily used Redis a long time ago. And the previous engineers, it was 3 separate people doing back-end iPhone and Android. And they weren't talking to each other. And so they all had different ideas of how it should work. And then the person who was doing the server stuff, I think was really expecting this to be like massive scale. So this had like many server components to it, and in the end I replaced it with a Rails app that had a Sidekick running background jobs and Redis to do the scoring, and it worked out pretty well. And then I had a friend help me do the iPhone app part of it, and then I had the client hire somebody else to do the Android portion. Okay, test failed again. So this one didn't insert stuff. Okay, that's a problem. Okay, 7597. Let me add this back and edit a breakpoint where the update is this. And we'll run it again. Oh, I think that this needs to be... Yeah, oh, yeah. That's a problem too. I don't want to break the outer loop. But I need to know... okay. So the problem is if I do this, then I break to the next row. And once I've gone through all of the ordered ones, if I haven't inserted, then I need to insert. So what I was doing is breaking out of the entire thing, which I don't want to do. I could do else if index is equal to ordered.last index. No. Indices.last. Well, I could just do count. Ordered.count -1. So if we're on the last one and we haven't broken yet, then we will do this. This is spread across Google and Amazon, some AI-powered third-party search service and so on. It's nuts. Yeah, that was that project I actually seriously considered doing in React Native. This was, I don't know, 5-6 years ago, something like that. Because the client really wanted both platforms at the same time, and I pushed hard to say that, it's hard to make a public product that like a group of people are supposed to use without having it on both platforms. But I wasn't super confident in React Native just from my own ability to produce something great. And so I did like a 2-day spike where I'm like, okay, let me try to do some of these harder things. And one of the things that I'm sure this is possible, and I'm sure like people who are into React Native would find a way to do it, but there was something I needed where like this avatar had like a stroke outline around it to indicate some sort of progress for that avatar. And I was like, how do I do this? I ran into a brick wall pretty soon, and I was like, okay, I don't want to spin my wheels this early in the project. And so I eventually convinced him that, doing iPhone first, then Android isn't twice the cost. It's once you have the product built, so having somebody else follow in the footsteps, the API is already done, the screen's already designed, stuff like that. It goes a lot smoother. Did I run this? I don't know where I was. Test succeeded, build succeeded. Let's run through it. Test succeeded. Okay. Let's run part 2. Part 2. Okay, 4681. That's the right answer. You're 1 gold star closer to finding the chief historian. We can share this on Mastodon. Do you wish you had done it? This one is React Native. It's awful there too. It's not that I wish I had. I feel like that would have been the only other valid choice, I think. And maybe if I knew somebody who was an expert that I could learn from, then maybe I would have been okay with it. I did, following that, I did a project it was a React Native project that they were converting to native because they wanted to have an app clip when app clips were announced. And app clips have, I think, a 10 megabyte limit. And the React Native app was like 250 megabytes or something like that. It was gigantic. There were tons and tons of third-party libraries in there. And so it just, like, A, you need an app clip that can fit in that spot. And then B, I think the app clip itself has to be native, I think. In any case, we basically had like no components to reuse to create the app clip experience. And this was like it included a map and stuff like that for a scooter company. And so we ended up needing to convert portions of the app to React Native to native iOS and Android anyway. And so that was an interesting world where you had to kind of like bounce between architecture that was written in React Native, but then we started converting components. So it was kind of like an inside-out migration. I'm curious if you ever looked at Valkey. I mean, I know this probably isn't your project to make this decision on, but had you been aware of like the the Valky, or sorry, the Redis drama that led to the community forking Redis and turning into Valky, and now there's like some additional drama where Redis is like claiming the trademark over names in like the cargo namespace and other ecosystems. Seems kind of shady, and I don't know what the community is going to do, but I was reading through a GitHub discussion about the Rust crate for Redis, which Valky is like protocol compatible essentially. So you can use any Redis library to talk to Valky because it's the same underlying project. This was just a fork. But then Redis, as it adds new stuff, Valky may diverge, and so there's some question in the community about what to do there. And then Redis wants to own all the libraries that say Redis in the name so that they can offer their support to their enterprise customers or whatever. But I was just curious if you had heard about Valky. Did the app get much use, do you know? I don't know. I think they did it as part of like a marketing partnership with Apple. So they were in a keynote, and they, like the documentation for AppClip probably still has their screenshots and stuff like that. The company doesn't exist anymore, unfortunately. I think app clips are fantastic for this sort of thing, like parking apps and scooter apps or whatever. You shouldn't have to download stuff. It should just scan a QR code and it works. There was one gigantic fail on Apple's part with the app clip codes, those like circular codes that kind of look like QR codes, but they have kind of like a circular whatever. Yeah, app clip codes. App clip code. So we generated these app clip codes. Yeah, they look like this. And so we were testing it by scanning it like on the screen like this. And that would launch the app and all this stuff. And there's an NFC one, but this was more expensive to print because you had to have a little chip in it. And then this one worked with just the camera. And then anyway, so what they did was they printed out some of these stickers towards the end of the project. And these stickers were not cheap to print because they had to be like durable. And anyway, so you stick the sticker on a round post of a scooter, and the camera failed to recognize the app clip at all. So you couldn't scan it if it was stuck around a curved shaft. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I went into Photoshop and just warped the image by, pretending that it was wrapped around something, just ever so slightly, maybe, just a little bit of warping. And I sent that I sent that image to Apple as a feedback, and I'm sure it got fixed later because that's a software thing they could fix. But that was just a giant fail for the project. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see. This is probably a good write-up of it. All right, that's it for me today. I will see you all tomorrow for day 6. Have a good one.